it's Karen with Karen Codes, and in our previous video we saw that if we created a Mary and a John person, and the John, we left off the age and the is married for our constructor, and then when we tried to print him after setting an age and setting whether or not he was married, it still printed just John Jones. And that's because of how the constructor is, because then the print string, when we call print John and his information, it says, oh, well, he only has the two things set when he was constructed. Well, those values are still there, and how we can access them is as follows. So first of all, we're going to say John, and then we're going to add to that. And we're going to do a comma so that we keep the same formatting. And then we're going to do a plus, and we're going to do John.getAge, because we actually have to call the method to make this happen. And then we're going to do a comma and a space again. And then we're going to do is married with a colon and a space. And then we'll add is married, because that's what it's called when we get it. Instead of get married, it's called is married. But it is giving me an error message. Okay, it's undefined. Let me try again. Oh, I know why it's saying that. Sorry, I forgot to do the John part. Now it recognizes the method. Okay, so as I hit run, save and run, you can see that now it gives John, age 32, married, false. And I'm going to show you what happens when we change the values that we put for Mary. So let's say that Mary gets older. She has a birthday, and we're not using a date to dynamically track it. So let's show you what happens when we print Mary. Oh, excuse me, that's a video name that I had instead. Okay, when we print Mary, let's show you what happens. So with Mary, it did update her age from 45 to 46. And the reason it behaved this way is because the constructor that we used for Mary already had a spot for her age. And we didn't have to specify, hey, get this age if it gets set or changed or whatever, because it just automatically knew, hey, we're going to get the updated age. And just to make sure that that happens, I actually put something in the toString code that you may need to add, and that is I changed age from the age variable when it's constructed, like this. I changed it to getAge, because that's the behavior I want, so that when you update something, it actually displays correctly. And so because we're inside the class and this belongs to the class, I can just go ahead and call the method the way it is for the class without specifying an object, because we're already in that person constructor object class. Anyway, the constructor is above, but we're in the class person, and so we don't need to specify Mary.getAge for this, but when we're in the main class, we do have to specify that. So let me just run it with the changes, and you can see that yes, it kept the updated value, and is married is true. And so if I set married to false on Mary, and I just leave her age alone, then when I run it, it should say that her age is 45. And that her is married is false. But we have a new behavior here. And that is, it decided, oh, you're using the to attribute constructor. And let's go back to person and see if we can figure out why it did that. So I'm going to change this from isMarried the method to isMarried the Boolean value and save that again. And now when I run it, I still get Mary with just the to constructor. Interesting. So we're going to try something. We're going to put the Mary line of code above the output for John. And try it again. And it's still doing that. So here's where we can debug. Okay, so I am going to put a little dot just by double clicking the 14. I'm going to put a little line breakpoint because it's going to show me the value that is stored for the Mary, so that why it's outputting what it is instead of the toString. So let's go to debug, and if you do not have this debug in the top right corner, you're going to want to go to Window, Perspective, Open Perspective, and the little debug. Okay, that's how you get there. So I am there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the debug basics, I'm going to hit run. Okay, and what I get is a program that stops right here on this line. And it's supposed to stop at my breakpoint, but it did not. So we're going to go and stop this and try again. We're going to try the debug. That's because I did it wrong. Okay, so this time it did freeze where I set my breakpoint. And as you can see, for Mary, her age is at 45, and isMarried is set to true at the start of this line. Whoa. Okay, but now as I step into the code, actually I just stepped over it, it has now changed isMarried to false, and it has printed out John Jones, because that's the line we're on. But what happens when we step into the next line? It's showing us, okay, this is the toString method. This is what we're doing. Oh, we're going to return this other one because it's not true. And that's why it did that. Okay, so the reason it used the toArgument constructor is because within, so let's go back, let's get out of this perspective and go back to the Java one. And you can either click on the little thing on the right here, or you can go Window, Perspective, and then choose the Java. So if we go to our toString and the logic behind the toString within the basics, it shows, oh, sorry, it's not within basics, it's within person. Now if you notice over here on the left, the Package Explorer closed, and I can just double click that, or I can hit Restore Window. But anyway, let's go down to the toString, and that's what caused this problem. Because we said if age is not set to 0 and isMarried is not false. So what we're saying is, okay, isMarried has to be true, or else you're going to use the toArgument constructor. So that's some logic that would need to be fixed if we wanted to have it displayed correctly. But that's why it did what it did. So what we can do is keep her at true for now, and tell it to run again. And so this time it displays correctly. And console is in a weird place, which sometimes happens. Not to worry, it can be restored. I just simply go restore, and there we go. And then over here, I hit restore, and there's the view that we're used to. So that's a little bit of basic about why it behaves the way it does and how the debug works and what it looks like. And thank you for watching. We'll go over more of this on the next video. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed.